Greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this patch video for Thief Lord from the website Royal Road. This patch video will contain chapters 13 and 14, and as always I hope that you enjoy, and if you do, please consider supporting the channel. Chapter 13, Guildmaster. The sounds of the quill scratching against the parchment are the only thing that disturbs the still evening air. The Guildmaster of Dark Pegasus Guild is making the final adjustments on their plans for turning Drenorus into the richest city in the Imperia Empire, and even the entire continent as a whole. It isn't the largest city, but its prime location is what makes it ripe for long-term investment. Arya prides herself on her strategic capabilities, and it's what made her able to climb the corporate ladder even though she was barely reached her mid-30s. Being on the board of a large pharmaceutical company, her life has already been set for a century to come. Not good enough for her, though. But good was power and money if you can't enjoy what you're doing. Why settle for something good when the best is within reach? That's why Arya decided to change her pastures, so to speak. When Ascendance Unlimited was first revealed, she didn't think much of it. Not until her younger sister Anna showed up and announced at her office one day and started blabbering about them needing to spend some quality time together. While she was always had a soft spot for her little sister, she was about to throw her out when something Anna said caught her attention. When she heard Ascendance Unlimited was funded by several of the most influential technology companies in the world, she knew that she had to investigate. Increased automation and digitalization have rendered several professions obsolete during the last 2 decades, which has caused an unemployment rate to skyrocket. Society needed to adapt, and that called for a need to find alternative ways to keep obsolete parts of the workforce occupied. No one knows who came up with the idea to create a self-sustaining economy in a virtual world, but it doesn't matter anymore. The virtual economy of Ascendance Unlimited may not target the poorer members of society, but if the rich and adventurous find something more fun to do, it opens up opportunities for the rest. Society always finds a way to adapt and balance itself after all. Like Arya, powerful companies around the world have flocked to the game, investing billions of euros to take control over the virtual economy. It's kind of amusing, really. The rich and powerful will always flock around any and all economic avenues that have the potential to make money. Even something as surrealistic as an economy based on a virtual game. Everything must be controlled. Some people wonder if things are going too far when politics and money can corrupt something as simple as a video game. No matter the reason, it will still happen. It's the natural order of human society. People will do anything to get an edge, and Arya isn't denying that she is one of them. She needs to do it better than everyone else, which is why she spent 3 months fortifying herself in Drenorus. She has over 1,000 guild members at her command, and she has a large administrative supporting structure to manage and build the local economy and infrastructure. She has invested hundreds of thousands into the game, and everything needs to be perfect. She won't settle for anything less. So why then is there an alarm bell going off in the middle of the night? She shifts in her seat and gazes through the office window. Something doesn't feel right. "Benjamin, get in here." She calls for her aide. Her office door opens and a small human male with a potbelly enters. He has short black hair, brown eyes, and a plump face. He may look harmless, but he is a very attentive and intelligent man. Some may wonder why anyone would bother creating a character that looks so, less than average, but that's Benjamin for you. Benjamin has been Arya's aide since she attained a middle management position at the pharmaceutical company. There is no one more that she trusts. Benjamin has never been much of a gamer, which is why his character is still stuck at level 1. His character's appearance is near identical to his real-life appearance. Why would he even want to be? Because he feels comfortable in his own looks. Yeah, he's kind of weird that way. "You called, madame?" he asks, his face showing no hints of emotion. That is something Arya was always respected about him. "Why is there alarms going off in the noob district? Are we under attack?" she asked sternly, trying to imitate Benjamin's emotionless tone. Benjamin's eyes go blank for a moment as his hands move around in the air in front of his face, no doubt checking the guild chat log. The night shift at the gate reports that a thief lord has been spotted. There are 2 witnesses. Both of them are being escorted here as we speak, post-haste. They should be here within 10 minutes. Aria's fist clenches. Thief lord. She can't stand that annoying class. The general population might have realized the power of the curse the class holds, but she is painfully aware. The individual power, the high stealth capabilities, and the ability to cause major damage to a blooming economy may be the greatest threat to her new trade empire. She cannot let those pests run loose in her city, which is why she has ordered a quarantine of all the nearby spawn points, both Draneris, Culrus, and 3 lesser towns, all being guarded by Perception Spect players under her employ. Have every guild member in the city with perception attribute of at least 30 gather at the gate of the new district, she says through gritted teeth. Everyone. I don't think our members will appreciate taking time off of leveling their characters to look for a freshly spawned thief lord, Benjamin says calmly. Maria frowns. She knows it's not the most efficient use of her resources, but she hates loose ends. Tell them we paid them 20 gold per hour. That should mollify them a bit. 20. Benjamin raises his eyebrows. Don't you think that's a bit much? She frowns. Just do it. We need to make an example of what happens to villains in our territory. Now go find those witnesses. Benjamin nods once before he turns around and exits the room, closing the door carefully behind him. As the door slides shut, she releases a deep breath. Those damn villains. The worst thing about this game. Just yesterday, a level 38 necromancer was killed right outside the city walls. It was a small miracle that Paul's team managed to kill him before he razed an entire village. She dreads to think of what would have happened if the attack had succeeded. How many more of those vermins are scattered about? What if a level 38 thief lord is scurrying around her right under her nose? Cursed beings! She will root them all out. She starts pacing around the room. Pacing around aimlessly is a bad habit of hers when she receives bad news. It helps her think, but it also makes her appear weak to her peers. There is nothing she despises more than weakness. She comes to a stop next to a large office window, and she lets her gaze linger on the Noob District Peninsula in the distance. After a few short minutes, there's a knock at the door. Enter, she says calmly, but loud enough to be heard, still staring out the window. Benjamin opens the door and enters. 2 low-level players follow him, a human and a dwarf, both paladins. The 2 lowbies look nervous as they both shift their weight from one foot to another. These 2 gentlemen are nicknamed Gregorius Ironguard and Kenwin Smiteman, both level 3 paladins who just started playing Ascendance Unlimited. Benjamin introduced the 2 players. Aria turns around, giving the 2 players an ice-cold glare. Pleasure to meet you, Guildmaster. You can call me Kevin. The human male stutters while bowing. Oh, pleased to meet you, miss. Just call me Greg. The dwarf follows suit. Aria sighs. She doesn't like it when people suck up to her. She doesn't want them to act informally, though, but if they could just grow a spine and some gonads, that would be great. Tell me about the thief lord, leave no details out, she says sharply. The 2 players hesitate for a moment until Greg speaks up. I didn't see the thief lord, that was Kevin. All I can say is that he used some sort of spell, and he had at least 3 minions at level 2. They were well geared in basic armor, and I believe their weapons were enchanted too, the dwarf says. How do you know their gear was upgraded if you just started playing the game today? Benjamin cuts in. Flastered, Greg cheeks redden. I have watched a lot of videos online before I could afford to buy the game, he mutters. Aria frowns. Basic armor and enchanted weapons for 3 level 2 minions. That's impossible for a thief lord at that level. Nothing in the Noob District can generate that amount of money, at least not if the thief lord is the only level 2, possibly 3. There is also no way that they could have access to that amount of gold without visiting an exchange office in the market district in the main city. There is no feasible way for a thief lord to get out there, get that sort of money and then get back in, not without having secure entrance and exit point outside the help. She already knew that there was no exits that she hasn't covered. She made a damn sure to map out every single possibility of leaving the Noob District. Is this an infiltration attempt from a rival guild? Is it sabotage? Treason? She can't know. What she does know, though, is that rooting out this thief lord as fast as possible just became the top priority. She noted one thing, though. Are you certain you saw a spell? What kind? Yes, we were on an escort quest, and just as we dropped off the NPC to her home, she started screaming. When I followed her into her home, I noticed someone cast a spell on her. I'm not sure what kind of spell it was, but the NPC immediately stopped screaming. It might have been a silent spell of some sort. I immediately pulled her out, and that was when the minions swarmed us, Greg said, his back standing straighter. Good! At least this guy isn't completely incompetent. The Thief Lord must be a mage type then. It's not common choice since it's not the stealthiest option for the class. But it is not unheard of. Since none of the Thief Lord underlings can use spells, then it must have been the Thief Lord himself to cast them. That's good though, as a focus on spells means that they will not have the ability to specialize in stealth skills. This might not be a smart Thief Lord after all. Still, she refuses to underestimate her opponent. Kevin, tell me about the Thief Lord, she says through gritted teeth. Leave out no details. With his body trembling, Kevin swallows once. I didn't get too good of a look at her, he stammers, visibly uncomfortable with talking to her. Arya sighs. What? A spineless wimp. Her? Are you certain it was a her? She asks. Oh, I'm positive. His cheeks redden. Her face was covered by a mask, but I know a female dwarf character when I see one. It was definitely a her, he says with a bit more confidence. A dwarf thief lord? Really? That makes no sense. The dwarves gain bonuses and endurance skills, as well as earth and holy magic. None of those skills are applicable to a thief lord mage. Is this a ruse? Are you sure it wasn't a halfling or a fae? She asked the dimwit, Kevin. Positive, he nods eagerly. 100%. I have always prided myself with my good eyesight. He grins. Do you have recordings that can verify this? She asks, not quite trusting the guy. Keeping the in-game recording feature of your gameplay on at all times is a necessity for all serious gamers, as you never know when you might need to get some sort of proof of your claims. A video to analyze and learn how to mistake or how to fight, or a video of a great battle to post online to gain fame and money. He hesitates. No, sorry, I didn't think to turn it on yet. His smile falters, looking slightly ashamed. Arya sighs. This incompetent fool. A dwarf thief lord with a mage specialty. Really? It's a terrible match. Horrible, in fact. No sane player would ever play it like this. Assuming that it is a sane player. Who knows, it might be a terrible noob. Or maybe it's a player that is too clever for her own good. Playing something stupid as a dwarf thief lord with a mage specialization is so ridiculous, no one would suspect you of being one. Could it be so stupid that it's actually genius? What about you? She directs her attention towards the dwarf. The dwarf porks up. I have the footage. I didn't get a look at the thief lord, but you can clearly see the minions I fought. He says, good. At least there is some small hope for these idiots. Thank you. Benjamin will give you an email address where you can send your recordings. Is that all? She asks the two players. That's all, we think, the dwarf answers. Good. She closes her eyes to collect herself. Now what do you want as rewards? Gold? Gear? This time Kevin doesn't hesitate to answer. We would like to join your guild, he blurts out, his face turning beet red. If you'd be so kind, miss. His gaze moves down in front of her feet. Please, he adds weakly. Joining her guild? These two muppets. Granted, the dwarf looks semi-competent, but Kevin, she already despises him. Our guild has a minimum level set at level 20, Benjamin says curtly, coming to her aid. She appreciates it, but she needs to look like the bigger picture here. It's fine, she says. I reward loyalty. You may join, but we have certain demands of you in return. Benjamin will inform you of the specifics afterwards. Please go down and wait in the lobby. I must speak to Benjamin in private. Thank you. The duo bows and hurries out the doors, not even bothering to close it behind them. Arya's lips curl into a sneer. Revolting, she snorts as she steps back at her desk, leaning against it. Benjamin hurries to close the door shut before he turns back to Arya. What are your orders? She frowns. Are the perception players in position? They will be shortly. One moment, please, Benjamin says as his eyes once more go blank. We have gathered 60 players with all perception attribute above 30. Your sister and her team are also present. Good. Have them start the purge of the Noob district. Have them double-check any female dwarven players, and have them knock on the door of every NPC residence to find out where they are hiding. Have some of our rogues break into some of them and suspected of hiding there, she says. Oh, and also keep an eye on your Farfling and Fey players, she adds as an afterthought, not quite trusting Kevin's eyesight. It will be done, he nods. What about the sewers? The sewers, huh? They probably should be checked too, but only as a last resort. She doesn't want the sewers to become common knowledge just as yet, as it holds a great strategic value. Only her upper leaders, as well as her sister and her group, know about it as of yet, and she trusts them all completely. She doubts the Thief Lord could have found her way into it, as the entrance are very inconspicuous and well hidden. But you never know. Her countermeasures aren't fully completed down there yet, but it will be enough to put off chance the Thief Lord stumbled upon it. Hold off on checking the sewers until the sweep of the Noob district is complete. If you don't find anything, have Anna's team head down there and clear it out. As you will, madame, Benjamin says as he turns around the exit. He halts in his steps. What if we can't find the Thief Lord, he asks. Arya frowns, letting her gaze move towards the window, looking towards the Noob district in the distance. Then you look again. End of chapter. Chapter 14. Hail Mary. I slumped down next to the tunnel wall, pinching the bridge of my nose as I tried to collect my thoughts. I screwed that one up royally. I can't believe those players just happened to receive an escort quest that just happened to be about bringing the widow back to her home at the exact time. What are the odds? I was only there for like 10 minutes, 15 more, and I would have been long gone. Was it the reason for the difficult rating was so higher than in most tutorial quests? Did the quest even have some invisible timer? I sigh, whining about things that I can't do anything about and that won't help me. I need to analyze what good came of it and how I can rectify it in the future. First of all, I need to be more wary about unforeseen consequences. If the target returns back home in the middle of a heist, then I need to make sure some precautions. Perhaps next time I should toss the living room first and instead have a few rogues hidden in the shadows to quickly and efficiently eliminate anyone who stumbles upon us. Just what happened was sloppy, and I should know better. When that player arrived, I was unprepared. I should have had a larger secondary force outside, ready to assault them in a surprise, a two-pronged attack. My spotter did an amazing job breaking up the blockade of the door, but I did not manage to successfully intercept and kill them before they discovered I was a Thief Lord. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't have revealed myself. While I'm certain that my cover remains intact thanks to my villain's mask, that doesn't mean the players couldn't gain other information from seeing me. While the villain's mask does hide my identity, it doesn't change my general appearance or clothing. If I'm going to be this reckless in the future, then I might as well just pack up my crap and give up now. I sigh as I get back onto my feet. The alarm bell is still ringing outside, so I figure I have to lay low for a while. I need to figure out what my next move is. The smartest option would probably be to hide my underlings down here while I head up into the tavern and rent a room for the night. The problem with this plan, however, is that the other players should be on high alert. There is no way for me to know if any perception-based players aren't already swarming the streets above. I could, of course, stay down here until kill rats for a few hours, but the Dark Pegasus Guild knows about these sewers. If they are truly on high alert, then what is stopping them from coming down here and looking for me? It would be impossible for me to hide, and I doubt that I could put up much of a fight against a bunch of high-level players. I frown as I try to come up with a better option, but I get nothing. They are both risky choices, so I figure I should just do what gives me the best short-term reward, getting rats for a few hours and level up. Content with my choice, I get to my feet with a smile on my face. I'm about to order my underlings to start hunting when a familiar chime rings in my head. Anna Owl Windrider writes, "Hey Ryan, where you at?" I furrow my brows. That's an odd coincidence. I need to tread carefully here. Bryan Hanley writes, Hello, Anna. I'm currently sightseeing in the city. What's the matter? If I have learned from my previous mistake, and I have given a lot of thought into possible responses and lies that I can tell that won't raise any suspicions of where I am, who I am, or what I'm doing. Actually, I have created an entirely fictive persona, that enigma that is Ryan Stabberton. Since I have already sort of stumbled into the being portrayed of a 53-year-old man, I decided just to roll with it. If anyone asks, I am Raymond Wells, an office clerk in Manchester, England. I have a deep fascination with contraptions and the art of engineering, and I am currently obsessed with developing in-game traps. I have grown a daughter studying medicine in London, and my late wife died of cancer last year. Due to my grief, I prefer not to talk about my real life. It's simple, relatable, and it hopefully won't raise any eyebrows. Nothing that is boring as a middle-aged man going through late midlife crisis after all. At least, that's what my dad usually says. Anna Earl Windrider writes, Oh, so you haven't heard? A lot is going down in the Noob District at the moment. The whole guild is riled up about it. Oh, no. That doesn't sound good. I can feel a knot starting to tie in my chest. Ryan Stabberton writes, Yes, I can hear the bells. Is something bad? Anna L. Windrider writes, Yeah, it seems like someone spotted a thief lord, and I wondered if you had seen anything suspicious. My whole party is on our way to try and root them out. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Ryan Stabberton writes, They are sending a single party of high-level players to kill a player in the Noob District. That sounds like a little bit of overkill, doesn't it? Anna L. Windrider writes, Oh, it's not just me. My sister brought over 60 people to do a full purge of the entire Noob District. What? Ryan Stabberton writes, Oh, all right. It sounds like you kids have your hands full. Is there anything that I can do to help? Anna L. Windrider writes, Thanks, Ryan. The guild chatter says that the Thief Lord is a female dwarven mage. You wouldn't happen to have seen anyone who matches that description, have you? A female dwarf. What the? I frown and I scratch my head. Are they really looking for me? Who the hell would play as a dwarven thief lord? Are they idiots? Ryan Stabberton writes, No, I can't say that I have. I hesitate for a moment until a quick idea springs to my mind. Ryan Stabberton writes, Actually, I did see a female dwarf when I went sightseeing. I met her near a small stone balcony overlooking the ocean to the south, next to the keep. I had a lovely conversation with her about rock climbing. Lovely lady. Could she be the one you're looking for? Anna L. Windrider writes, Oh, that might be it. Thanks a lot, Ryan. If I find her, I'll be sure to split the reward with you. I gotta try. TTY. No crap. Was lying like that a mistake? What happens when they don't find a dwarven female? No matter. I have bigger fish to fry. No, actually, I have an entire whale, 3 sharks, and a dozen goldfish to fry. If over 60 players are looking for me, then I doubt that they will give up easily. That sort of manpower needs more serious, and I need to get out of the Noob District as fast as I possibly can. But how will I do that? The wagon idea is a complete bust. There is no way that they won't triple-check anything that goes through the gate tonight. Finding some sort of jump or rock climbing skill is far too unrealistic, as I neither have the time nor the patience to grind such a boring skills. And the steel grate is solid and impenetrable as ever. How else can I get past? By force? Ridiculous. I would be torn apart before you even make it near the gate. Then, what else is there? I start to massage my temples as I run through a bunch of scenarios in my head, each one riskier than the other, each and every one of them ending in my bloody death. If only there was some sort of skill, I mutter, as I feel a headache starting to build, something that could hide my identity for long enough for me to be able to walk past the guards. Something like what my beggar has. I frown, feeling the stress get to me. If I could trade places with my beggar for a few minutes, all my problems would be solved. But the idea is ridiculous. Hold on one moment. I squint as my mind races. Wasn't there a skill for this? I quickly open up the Thief Lord skill list, scrolling down until I find a skill that I'm looking for. Doppelganger, instantaneously switch position with an underling, range 1 meter plus 0.2 times skill level. Cooldown 10 minutes minus 5 seconds per skill level. That's it, that's the Hail Mary I've been looking for. I grin as I quickly come up with a plan. My beggar should be easily able to just walk straight past the guards at the entrance. If he could then make his way around the shoreline and find the sewer's exit, then walk up to the grate from the other side. Then I can just use the skill and switch places with him. I already know the sewer's exit is near the ocean because of the puddle of seawater that I saw in the tunnel earlier. It should also be accessible from the outside, since someone should have actually been able to construct the sewers in the first place. Also, the skill description says nothing about being unable to switch places through solid objects. It's perfect. This can actually work. Or maybe it's too simple. The Dark Pegasus Guild has already invested considerable resources into all of this. Could they have predicted this all along? Possibly. The Doppelganger skill is a severe distance limitation, which makes it pretty much useless as a means to escape anywhere else than past the grate. I wouldn't be able to use it to manually make my way down the steep cliffs surrounding the peninsula. Neither would I be able to sneak past the guards near the district's exit. Surely, using Doppelganger to get past the gate must have crossed their minds. But what if it hasn't? I already know that they think the sewers are a secret and no one has a select few in their guild. I also know that it's hard to predict the Thief Lord figured out how to get past, even if they knew the sewers to begin with. There are dozens of villain classes to account for, and I don't recall any other classes has a means to short-range teleportation. How can they know if I'm able to get someone on the other side of the gate to actually swap places with? There are too many variables for them to be able to account for everything. I think this could work. Worst case scenario, the Dark Pegasus Girl has installed a second gate further back, making it impossible for me to sneak an underling past to begin with. They could also have placed a guard on the other side, but that seems highly unlikely. Hiring players to guard a secret entrance must be ridiculously expensive, and that's not even considering it would make it harder to keep the sewers a secret for long. Setting a second grate up must also be expensive, at least until their player blacksmiths are high enough level to make grates of their own. The city is huge, with lots of entrances to the city from both land and sea. Freshly spawned villains is the least of their concern. Their resources must be spread thin across the city. I also bet in the future, when the sewers do become common knowledge, the player population down in the sewers would be dense enough for it to be impossible for a villain to fight through them, or without getting spotted. There is no better alarm system than people, after all. I snort. I think this might work. What do I have to lose by trying this? Nothing. If this plan is to work, then I have a lot to do. First of all, I need to hurry up and reach level 3, and I need to get a hold of my beggar. I could almost kiss myself for ordering my beggar to report to me every 3 hours, which by now means that he should arrive in about an hour or so. Hopefully, I can stay hidden for long enough. Completing the heist also gave me a large chunk of experience going towards level 3, and it shouldn't take too many rat kills for me to reach it. Which reminds me, I should probably check the quest notifications. The job, A Widow's Grief, is successful. Subtle as a cat or violent as a thug, as Thief Lords can do either. You managed to secure your objective without killing the wife. While combat was inevitable, you did not handle it with grace, and the streets of Draenarys run red with the blood of travelers this night. Rewards: 150 experience, 7 pieces of equipment, 13 crafting ingredients, 2 miscellaneous items, 2 gold, 8 silver, and 8 copper. Mentor has leveled up to Novice 3. Calm has leveled to Novice 2. That's better than I expected, I frown. How did I gain so many rewards? I look over towards my underlings, sort of expecting the mute men to respond. Almost as if on cue, the 3 underlings pull several items from their own inventories with a befuddled expression. I inspect the items. Officer Guardsman Shortsword, uncommon, 8 to 10 slashing damage, plus 2 agility, requires level 4, contraband. Officer Guardsman Chainmail set, uncommon, plus 45% physical resistance per level gain, 2 endurance, 1 strength, 1 perception, 0.5 agility, 0.5 dexterity, 0.5 charisma, requires NPC fighter class, contraband. Painting, novelty item number 21, contraband. 6 flour, common cooking ingredient. 3 eggs, common cooking ingredient. 4 pork, common cooking ingredient. 1 gold coin, 2 silver. What the? Loot! I forgot I could steal things on their own as well. I grin. This is fantastic. It seems like my cutpurse found the late guardsman's weapon and armor in one of the side rooms, while the hoodlum raided the kitchen for ingredients and swiped a painting from the living room. They both found a few coins as well. If I wasn't currently stuck in a serious situation, I would be thrilled. Who knew heists could be so lucrative? I stash the items into my inventory and order my underlings to get moving. I can sort all of this out later, but now I have things to do, as well as move further down the tunnel. I decide to open up the basic information from my status page. Status: Name, Ryan Stabberton, Class Thief Lord or Trap Maker. Race Halfling Level 2, Health 50, Mana 220, Experience 260 out of 300, Renown not applicable. After completing the quest, it's not far from leveling up. I've only got 40 XP to go, which should only amount to killing 6 or 7 rats. That should only take me about 20 or 25 minutes. That leaves me half an hour to wait for my beggar to reappear. I'm not sure how much time I have left until the Dark Pegasus Guild finds me down here, but I know I have to make it snappy. We pick up the pace as the lower level sewer rats hardly put up a fight against my well-armed underlings. It's more like a massacre than a fight really. The rats were never really supposed to be strong monsters in the first place. It only takes us a little less than 20 minutes to jog through the majority of the sewers, slaughtering over half a dozen rats. Congratulations, you have reached level 3. You have gained 3 attribute points and 1 skill point. The familiar blue window appears as expected, and I waste no time in putting my new skill into acquiring Doppelganger, as well as placing 2 attribute points into luck and 1 into charisma. Since I'm finally able to equip the jewelry from the heist with another point in charisma, I'll have 30 points in total. This both increases my attributes by leaps and bounds and will allow me to recruit 2 new underlings as soon as I can find another tavern in the city somewhere. I open up my attributes page and confirming my sudden spike in power. Attributes: Strength 5, 5 minus 10%. Endurance 5. Agility 5, 5 plus 1 minus 10%. Dexterity 19, 5 plus 4 plus 13 divided by 75%. Perception 5. Intelligence 28, 5 plus 30 divided by 75%. Wisdom 5. Charisma 30, 21 plus 6 plus 10%. Luck 13, 10 plus 2 plus 10%. Unassigned attribute points 0. My character is starting to shape up nicely. As much as I would love to stay down here and grind rats for the remainder of the night, I need to start making preparations for meeting my beggar. I refuse to be caught with my pants around my ankles again, and I need to come up with a proper plan. I make my way over towards the exit behind the tavern. This is the place I ordered my beggar to show up near, and it's also the exit I'm most familiar with. If I'm ever going to be able to pull this act of desperation I'm calling a plan, then I need this meeting to go smoothly. I can already taste victory. Only a little over half an hour to go. What could possibly go wrong? End of chapter. And that, my friends, concludes this patch video. If you enjoy the story, please don't forget to go and show the author some support. And if you wish to support this channel, there are links down below. The easiest way to support this channel would be to subscribe and share as much as possible to help this channel grow. And I'll see you all in the next video, and until then I hope you all keep well and safe. Cheers.